everybody. All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. All right. Again, if you're going to be working alone, please just type I am. If anybody is working along with me, just type I am. We're going to give everybody another minute to get in, and then we're going to get started, okay? All right, so we got one person that's gonna be working along with us tonight. All right. So good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening. Hello, hello, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started with tonight's class. All right. Welcome to the Royal Ruffles class, where we'll be doing buttercream ruffles using our number 104 tip. There's actually two tips you can use, 104 or 125, depending on the style of the ruffles that you want to do. The tip is basically just a rose tip. If you looked at it, if you already bought it, it's just a rose tip that we're going to be doing this with. And I chose to use the 104, which is a little bit smaller. So I decided to change up this class a little bit, kind of at the last minute. I wanted to do something different since people have been asking about funded. So I added in the funded portion on this class and made it a 3-tier cake. It was initially just a 3-tier cake with a mold on there, but that particular mold has been so hard to find. I know I had a lot of people looking for it, but we just could not find that mold anyway. So you could have used any mold, and you still can, but the techniques that are in this class you can use on many different styles of cakes. So tonight we're going to do a couple of different techniques that we're going to focus on tonight. I'm going to do the buttercream ruffle on the bottom, the top 2 tiers. I'm going to do the middle tier is going to be funded. It's going to be a marble color. The colors that I'm using tonight is going to be purple, gray, and white. So my middle tier is going to be a purple and white and gray marbled effect. And then the top tier will be a plain, just a plain white tier. And I'll add in some other embellishments and everything. We'll bling it out and everything. We're going to go start to finish on this. It's pretty, this is going to be, I'm going to break it down. Of course, y'all know I break everything down. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. We're going to move through this because this is one of those cakes that is very, very fun. It doesn't take a lot to it. It's more so in the details more than anything. So we're going to jump in and get started. All right. So to begin with, I'm going to be using styrofoam on this particular cake. This particular set is a 6, 8, and a 10 set. Just a 6, 8, 10 styrofoam set of dummies. And you guys will be, I'll tell y'all later, okay? I'll get to the good news later, all right? So y'all will be the first to hear it. So if this was a real cake, we would already have crumb coat on all of our tiers, okay? That we've already have our crumb coat done on everything. So what I'm gonna do now, since this is a dummy tier, I'm gonna go ahead and just ice just the top of this tier, just so it will look okay when I stack my next tier on top of it. All right. So I'm just gonna do just icing this as if it was a regular cake. And I'll leave it as such, okay? Just get all my excess icing off of here, okay? Just icing it like it was a regular cake. I want to have a base on it so it won't be white at the top when we finish doing the ruffles over here. So if this was your real cake, you would already have this crumb coated, okay? All right. All right. So for the ruffle, this is what we're doing, okay? I'm going to put it where you guys can see. Thanks to this Archon mount, I can watch y'all and let it focus on me. All right. Were we okay? All right. So we're good to go. Lift this up a little bit so I can see your questions if you have questions as well. All right, so with this tip, all we're gonna do is point the tip directly down. So the large end of the tip should go down, okay? So what we do, we'll start here, and what we're gonna do is make a wave motion, okay? had to make sure I had my tip all right. My tip felt like it was about to come out. All right. So what I like to do, because I like movement to the cake, so the details are a little bit more intricate. So what I did was on the other night when I posted an example of what the cake would look like, what I did was I took it and I went from here, and that just made my first line. Okay, we see that? Again, I'm following the pattern I've already did. Okay. Again, the large end is down. So what I did was, when I wanted to add in more of a detailed design, just to change up the pattern, I just took it different ways. So you want to have a medium consistency icing on this. Not too stiff. You definitely don't want it too runny, because again, when you go back to add the painted details on it, they're just gonna it's gonna fall off. Okay. So are we seeing the pattern so far? Okay. I don't know what color it look on y'all page, but mine is blue. Hold on all of that, okay? Don't worry about none of that right now, because I'm going to announce something later on. Okay, so it does look purple. Okay, I just want to make sure it was purple. All right, so what I'll do now is I'll go back and fill in. Make sure you continue to clean off your tip as you're adding the ruffles on. Just cleaned off every so often. Okay. Again, large end is down. Okay. Move that around. Okay. Are we okay now? Yes, if it was on a real cake, you would ice the cake the same color as the color you're going to use on your ruffle. Just a crumb coat on there, okay? All right. All right, so we'll go back now and continue to fill in. Now this is going to take you a little time, because yes, definitely, in case you miss a spot. And you'll probably see on mine, you're going to probably see a few spots on there, but I'll go back in and I'll fill it in. Just fill in those spots. So again, now I'll start going up, because if you're going up, you can actually see more You don't really miss too many spots when you're going in an upward position. And all you're doing, the more you angle or or wiggle your hand from side to side, just kind of giving it that motion, you'll see that the ruffles will get more and more intricate in the detail on them. You can do it as wide or as close together as you need to. Okay? So I'll go back in here. All right. We all on the same page so far? We good? I'll tell you now, your hand is definitely gonna hurt when you're doing this, unless you are working through it. You already got a set pattern that you want to do. It'll be really, really easy to kind of breeze through it. You can take, like I said, you can take it in any direction, the pattern in any direction you want to go in. You can make them as large or as wide as you want to. Maria, you a mess. Okay. Now this is really, really nice when you actually mix. If you take this and you streak your bag and mix your colors in, you'll be able to see the different colors in there, mixing in the colors. It looks really, really good together when you mix in colors. So can we see where we're going right now? Now from my angle, you guys probably seeing just squiggles. Okay. All right. So I'm working from the side so that you guys can see. So y'all may see me miss a couple spots, but I want to make sure y'all see it. As you can see, you can kind of mix up the patterns any way. Now, once you get a good rhythm going, it becomes a lot easier. But I will tell you this, if you have any problems with your hands or problem with carpetana or things like that, this is going to definitely kill your hand. So you probably gonna have to do it like in sections. You do a little bit and take a break. But once you get your rhythm going, you'll be okay. And you can go back in, fill in your spots. All right. Any questions so far? Good so far? We good? Okay. So if you're working alone, you're just working through this bottom. If you use a large bag, if you're doing this on an 8-inch cake, You probably won't have to fill the bag up with icing but one time if you use all of it. You may not even use all of it. You always clean your tip off so you don't drag icing along. It just gives you a clean start. That's with any border, anything that you're doing with a tip, you always clean off your tip. And this is a 10-inch, so of course it's going to be a little bit larger. Now, on the there's so many different types of ruffles that you can do with this. We not just with this tip, but just ruffles in general. If you took the other ruffle class, the just the ruffles that we did on the pink cake, that's the one. That's the feathered ruffle tip, but that's the tip number 402 and 403. Those tips right there give you a completely different effect. Okay. Sir, we can hear that in the camera. We got the movie man over here. Okay. And I was trying to show you guys the different build-ups you can do if you want to take it and change the look of it. But this one tip can pretty much do everything that you need, okay? So no matter how large or how small the tip is, if you're using this one or if you're using the larger one, the larger rose tip, it'll all give you the same effect. It just depends on how you hold your hand in the pattern that you want it to be in. So just be consistent with it, unless you're gonna, unless it blends all in together, okay? All right. Any questions so far? As we're going to the last section of our 10-inch tier. Any questions so far? Also be careful with the amount of pressure you put on it too, because the other night when I was doing this, the tip came right off of the bag because you actually are pushing down so much, and especially depending on the amount of the consistency of your icing, you can it's gonna definitely bust the bag. So this is where you go back in now. And you fill in any of the spots that you are missing. This is why it's important, like Sharon said, to do your crumb coat in the same color as you're doing, because you can it will kind of take away where you can't see those spots in there. Okay. You can go around as well if you want to do the look of it. If you want to take the ruffles around the cake, you can do it the same way. You can pretty much change it up and go either way with this one, and it will still look just as good as well. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna put this in the fridge for now. And then you have any questions, go ahead, we can answer those now. All right, so everybody on board? We're still here? We good? All right. Awesome. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and prep my surface for fondant. Okay. All right, so I like to use shortening on my counter space, the counter space that I've been working on. You just add some down, and I have granite countertops, so it's usually a lot easier. Some I just wash them off and start out. You know, if I want to do a new design, I can just clean them off and start all over again. And you make sure you wash them with hot water. Well, we're gonna go through an easy way on how to do this. So fondant has always been the thing that most people hate doing the most, for various reasons, and it's okay because everybody dislikes it at some point. So what I'm using today is the Wilton brand fondant, of course, for these dummies and stuff. You use that, and Wilton is not bad. You know, some people got their preferences of what they like and whatever, and that's fine. But Wilton isn't bad. It's you know, you can always add your own flavor to it. Yes, it would still be in the fridge if it was a real cake. It would always go back in the fridge. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just kneading out the fondant. My preferred brand of fondant for cake orders that require fondant is always Satin Ice. I love Satin Ice. And Satin Ice, a lot of people don't want to deal with it because it's a little expensive. Which you definitely gonna have to pay for, you know, quality products. So, but you can order it online. But it's definitely one of the best tasting fondants that's on the market, and I've tried many of them. All right. So you probably won't need this much of this. And there's so many different guides out there to help you with how much fondant to use and knowing what you know how to roll it out and everything. So what I'm going to do is just stretch out my fondant just a little bit, and I'm going to take some purple. I already had some purple fondant up. Just purple just worked out perfectly because I already had these colors here, the icing color and everything. So all I'm gonna do is just roll these up, make some little strips, some little sausage strips. And I just put them in various parts of my fondant. Okay. Okay. All right, so then I take it, I just roll it up. You don't want to mix it in too much because then you're just mixing up the color in there, okay? You're gonna change the whole color of the fondant and it defeats the purpose of it being marbled, okay? Just add in a few pieces every now and then. Twist it up. Again, twist again. All right, so from here, I always like to use cornstarch, and some people just roll it out on different things, but I like cornstarch because it lifts off easily, and it really helps with the a lot of the humidity in different areas. I'm in Mississippi, so of course the humidity is a lot different. Okay. So I'm just gonna prep my surface. I use I like to use the shortening to kind of grease my countertop so it doesn't stick when I'm kneading the fondant, and I like to use the cornstarch when I'm rolling it out. So it's almost like you're rolling out biscuit dough. So I take my rolling pin. And I like to roll. I like to just kind of get my fondant in a little circle, okay? And I always roll out. I always roll out away from it. You can pick it up, move it around. And I can always kind of see if it's too dry, or if it's not, if I need to add some more cornstarch to the counter so it doesn't stick, because you don't want it to stick, because that's normally where everybody get frustrated. And you just roll outward. Now I got this rolling pin from Country Kitchen years ago. It is one of my favorite tools. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take my fondant, go back into my shortening box, because this is just styrofoam. So if you're working on styrofoam, you just take your shortening and you grease your whole styrofoam layer. Grease it really good. And this is your icing right now, okay? The shortening is your icing for right now if you're using styrofoam. I just get it good and greased. All right. Now I'm gonna take my rolling pin. I'm gonna take my fondant and I'm gonna lift it up over my rolling pin. I'm just gonna roll it on, okay? Just like that. Now I'm gonna take this, start from here, from one side, and roll it across my cake. And I actually had some stuck on my cake, but it stuck in the spot. Well, it comes right off. But it was stuck in the spot that another cake was gonna go on anyway. All right. So now, the part where everybody hates, and it shouldn't be, because all you're doing, and I smooth out my top. I lightly do this. I always work away from me. All right? And I'm just lightly pulling the fondant down to where I'm not pulling it to where it's gonna tear, but I'm just lightly pulling it around, okay? Just lightly pulling it. Lightly pulling it down. Okay? Y'all got me so far? Y'all with me? Y'all quiet? Y'all studying, huh? I got some spots that I ain't put no Crisco on. Okay? And I always tell people, if you can cover a dummy tier with these sharp edges that are on here, you can cover anything, because these dummies have the sharpest edges on them unless you get the ones that are already tapered and rounded off. But I prefer to just get them like they are. Okay? Super, super, super easy. It's not as hard as, you know, we kind of make it to be. And I actually started off with fondant. I didn't start with buttercream because I actually was really, buttercream was not my thing when I first started. It was like the hardest thing for me to do. I had so many problems with doing buttercream. But now, I love buttercream more than anything. And you can give me a buttercream cake order any day. Fund it, y'all can have it. But I do like to be able to teach people the techniques and the just how to do these things, you know, just so you can have it in your back pocket. I always say nothing wrong with having a few skills in your back pocket, okay? So there we go. That's our tier. Simple, 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 simple. So in the event that you have a little area like this that has a tear in it, okay? Has a small tear. All you do is take your little fondant. You take it, put it in there, and you just smooth it out. Smooth it in there, okay? Just smooth it in there. Boom. Good as new. You won't even be able to tell. Nobody even know that you had a tear right there. A little rip. Because you already used it and you covered it up. Okay? We good so far? Everybody all right? So, I'm going to take this color that I already got right here. We'll move that cake out the way. I'm going to take this that I already got. I'm going to add in some more purple to it. And I'm just going to go ahead and use what I got. Make it even, you know, another shade of purple. Everybody following along? Everybody still in awe how easy fun it can be? I told you, a lot of times we just make things harder than they really have to be. It don't have to really, it's not really that hard. We tend to overthink things, and we go into it with the mindset that I can't do it, I can't do this, because I don't know how, and I promise you, I've been there when I first started out. There was so many things I wanted to do, and I kept saying, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do this. But one thing I learned was you will never, ever, you know, get it unless you try to do it. You got to at least put forth the effort first to try. And fun is just one of those things. The problem that most people have is it tears because you roll it too thin. You know, if you kind of give it a little thickness to it, you won't have any problems out of it. This can give me more work than rolling out the funnel. Funding will drive you into tears. I ain't lying. I have been there, y'all. So I'm going ahead. I'm icing my tear again. My styrofoam tear. Again, I'm icing this one up. I have messed up people's orders because I felt like I couldn't do it. You know how you so confident in it, and somebody give you an order, you be like, hey, you know what, I can do this, and they got more confidence in you than you do in yourself, and you take it on and you just really fuck it up. Yeah, I've been there before. I have literally done it. Allowing other people to have too much faith in you, and you mess around and mess it up and disappoint them and yourself. But I'll be like, no, y'all the one who told me I could do it. Go ahead and do it. I know you can do it. So again, we're going to start rolling out. And I just made this one a darker shade of purple. Still has a light, just a slight marble effect to it. Not much, but it's subtle. You can see it. You know it's there. All right. Yes, Ashley, I knew I wasn't the only one. Now, these 6 inches, the 6-inch cakes are small enough for me where I could just pick this up over my hands and lay it on my cake. Okay? So what I do, again, is I'm working out. I'm working in front of me, okay? I'm making my way around the cake. Yeah, it's easy to buy a sheeter, but sheeters are so expensive. If you got $3,000 laying around, I just never just seen. Now I can see the investment in it because, I mean, I've used them before and I see how they work. But even then, you still got to roll it out to get it through the sheeter. All right, so we got that on there. You go around, just cut out the excess, go around your cake and cut it off. So at this point here, this is when I usually start to add in my embellishments. So all of my embellishments that I want to put on, I usually do them now. So in this case, what I'm going to be doing is I've decided to use just some silver ribbon and some bling on mine for the embellishment. So what I do is I got my piping gel. And I just add a little bit of piping gel on it. This is stuff we already know, but we're gonna work through this cake together because we got some people working along with us. We want to do it together. Show you how simple this is. I'll just take my ribbon. Now, trick is when you're using ribbon and you're using piping gel, sometimes you will have the problem where it will bleed through. It's bound to happen sometimes with different colors. All you have to do is go back and just double up your ribbon. Don't trip over it. You know, it ain't gonna mess up anything. Just double your ribbon. I like to do both. It's Christina, it's not really a thing of it being easier. It's just more of convenience for me. I already have the cake down. I'm already working on it right then, so I'll just go ahead and do it and get it out the way then. And that way, when I start to stack, it just depends on what you're putting on here. Like right now, it's just ribbon and bling, so I just add it on as I go. Now the bottom ones, I usually add on, like if I was putting bling on the bottom tier, like on the bottom of the, where the ribbon is, I add that on once it's already stacked. So, we got that one. Move that one to the side. And we got this one, which is our marble tier, which I love. I love the marbling effect on cakes, especially in different, you know, just various colors. It looks really, really good together on there, depending on what the colors are, especially black and white. Darker colors as well. I just doubled this up just to give it, because it was thin, just so you can kind of see through it a little bit more, give it more of a shimmer effect to it. Because these glitter ribbons that everybody buying now, they're coming in really popular, but they are very thin for how much they cost. I guess they say they ain't meant for cake anyway. They wasn't making them for us for cake, but we use them on there. Yeah, I think these things, I think that glitter stuff is like, the ribbon and stuff is like $6 a spool or something, $5 or $6. If you ain't got no coupon on it, it's like $5 or $6 a spool. Okay. All right. So this was our icing. We're gonna pretend this is icing. This is a piping gel. We're gonna pretend this is icing. Okay. We're putting it on there. That's our icing. Now, what you'll do, if this was a real cake, guys, we would already, now we will be putting our dowels in here, okay? So, for dowel placement, I'll teach you the same thing I teach everybody. For dowel placement, what you would do is, you would take the same size board that you have. So right now we have this 6-inch that's gonna go on here. So I will place a 6-inch board on top of here, trace out the size of the board, okay? I would then put one dowel in the middle. I look at it as a clock, okay? One dowel in the middle, one dowel at 12, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. And those will be that'll be your internal support that will go through the cake. The larger the cake is, the more dowel support you'll need. So you'll go in between those, in between the clock then So you'll have, you go in between the 6, in between the 9, in between the 3, and everything so far. You'll add in more dials for more support, okay? So just think about your dial placement like a clock. And that will teach you how to keep up with where your dial should be placed at on your cake. All right? It's always a good way to think about it, okay? So, see how that looks together? Looks really good together. Questions so far? So far. So this is why, and now I do it like this because I break it down as I'm talking. I try to break everything down as I'm going along with it. But a lot of people say I'm fast, and what I try to do, just like in the wedding cake class, is to show you that it really doesn't take long to do these things. We've trained our minds to be OCD. That's exactly that. That's the easier way to put it. We have trained our minds to be OCD. And what the problem is, we have trained our minds to be that way, and we take longer on things that should not take that long. So what I try to do is teach y'all that it does not take that long to do these techniques. We just are overthinking the stuff that we're doing. Because if you took the wedding cake class, you'll see that we did an entire wedding cake in 45 minutes. So now, we get to the part where I call putting it all together. So we've gotten our tier out. We've gotten our ruffle tier out. So we'll move this up so you guys can see. We've gotten it out. We've lifted up our cake, our real cake, and we put it on. Lift it on here. We were doing it one tier at a time now. We wouldn't lift up the whole thing like this. Everybody does. Everybody has OCD when it comes to cakes. It takes them so much longer to do things because they keep going back over it, pulling it off, starting again, pulling it off, starting again, to the point where they never get to finish because they always trying to redo things. I had someone tell me that the hardest thing they have is trying to make sure that the cake is centered. But I just go all the way around and just view it all the way around. It kind of gives me an idea to make sure. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to add in just a few of our other embellishments because, and it is, you guys, seriously, it is really, really simple techniques that we make hard. And you guys, because you always have this video, it's available forever. You can always go back and watch it over and over again. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get out some of the embellishments to show you what we can add on. So the mold that everybody has asked about that we cannot seem to find anywhere. I'm sorry, y'all. I have definitely searched. I have searched and searched and searched. I got my goons looking for it. Everybody is looking for this mold. And as soon as we find it, I'm going to share where it was. But I have no idea where it's at. But what I want to show you to do, how you can dress the rest of this cake up and embellish it a little bit more, okay? Because I always look at my cakes as if I was dressing myself or someone. I got mine at SoFlo 2 years ago. And since then, I have not been able to find it. So I have no idea where it came from. I don't know the booth that I got it from. All I can tell you is I just don't know where it came from. It's just a mystery mold. We've searched and searched and searched, and we cannot find it. Seems to be I'm the only one that got it. I picked it up at SoFlo one year, and I walked off. I accidentally walked off with it. Before I knew it, I had it in my hand. I was running my mouth, and I have not been able to locate where it came from, where I got it from, nothing like that. So I don't know. It must have just been meant for me to have. But I tell you what, I have kept up with it all these years since I've gotten it. It is definitely a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mold. The details on it are very, very intricate. It's a beautiful mold, I will say that. To me, the embellishments and the details stand out more than anything. And there's so many different things you can do with this. So many different ways you can go. You can dress it up even more. Add in some, a nice brooch on it. Let's see. I just want to give you guys different options that are available when you do this, because this could potentially be either a wedding cake, well, I think that you can make molds. I just haven't figured out how to do it yet. I haven't personally figured out how to do it yet. I know there's a kit to it, but y'all know my hand being so much stuff, I can't keep up with all this stuff. Then I'll be trying to make molds and shit too. I already got a new business venture right now that I've just started, that I'm about to release to y'all, because y'all will be the first ones to know. All right, so as you can see, there's so many possibilities, and y'all should have told me I had this on crooked, but y'all ain't no good. I'm gonna fix it. Y'all ain't no good. Y'all will let me fall. All right. So again, the possibilities are endless. I mean, there's so much you can do with this design. There's so many different ways you can go with it. There's never a wrong way. I always tell people that there's never a wrong way to do things. You do it the way you want to do it. Nobody, don't let anybody tell you that, oh, that's not how you do it. That's not the right way to do it. Who said it was? Who said that was the right way to do anything? Yeah, it was crooked. I swear it was. So, another thing I do is I go back now and just pipe a simple border on it. So, the best brooches, guys, and I'm serious about this, the best brooches come from Walmart. And they're like $2. I get all of my brooches from Walmart when I do use them. Now I'm just going to pipe a simple bead border on here. The brooch, I got it from Walmart. Out of the section where you make, like you make jewelry and stuff like that. I got it for $2. That's okay. I always tell everybody, speed comes with time. You're not gonna start out being fast. It comes with time. Yeah, Walmart has beautiful brooches. Some of them you can get like 2 or 3 of them in a pack. And folks, it's just that simple. Seriously, just that simple. Now, you can take a very small brush, and when I say small, I mean very small, and go back and paint the details on there if you want to put silver on there. That's just if you want to. I wouldn't do it. Like seriously, I think it's fine without all of it. You don't need to put all of it silver and how we do the gold details. I think that the cake is beautiful just like it is. I don't think you don't need to go back and do all of it. And people would buy it. Something like this, I would probably sell, even though it didn't take me but less than an hour. I would sell anywhere from $450 to $500. And that's just the truth. It didn't take me but an hour. But my damn hand hurts. So that's why. You gotta charge them for the pain and suffering. All right. So, any questions? I'm just going to add in a little bit more embellishment around the board there. Just to dress up the board so you don't stop at the cake. Want to make sure you dress up everything. Any questions? heat up. Now everybody know me as a decorator. Know I don't never use this thing, my airbrush machine. But I want to highlight the some of the tones in here. I am not a airbrush person at all because of my allergies, and I'm finally kind of getting past them from this weekend's class. So this is gonna be real brief with the airbrushes. But I wanted to highlight some of the details on here with silver. And everybody should know this about me, because I always tell people I don't use airbrush guns. I have one that never use it. But this purple and everything like that, if you have a pearl sheen, you can go in and highlight the cake, the details on the ruffles, everything with pearl sheen. It does crust. Now this particular one here, I had already added powdered sugar in it, so that it would, just to give it that finish. Just in case we decide that you want to paint it, you do need to have that crust in there. Y'all, I almost poured the wrong thing in there. I wasn't paying attention. I really wasn't. I almost poured the stamping color inside the airbrush room. I would have really messed up something. Talking about I don't use it. I really wouldn't be using it then. They sent me a sample of some kind of stamp color that you can mix in when you press it onto a cake, like pressing stamps on. And I ain't never used it. Man, I would really messed up some. What I used was a little a highlight, like a pearl sheen, and I just mixed in just a little bit of silver with it, the silver luster, to give it just a nice sheen to it, and to give that purple or pop effect. That's enough airbrushing before I die. And I learned all of this stuff seriously with these colors through just trial and error. So, no, there was not anything specific that happened, but it was just trial and error. Alright, so I'm just going to add on a little embellishment on here. Because you don't want to stop it just the cake. You want to continue to dress up your board just to give it a little bit more oomph. And to charge their ass a little bit more over stuff that you already got at home. You already was using bling on the cake, so just add it to the board and charge them for it too. And there we have it. All dressed and ready to go. Isn't she beautiful? Nice little shimmer effect to it. I think she came out quite lovely. All right, folks. So, are we all on here? Are we all here? How bad was it? How bad was it? Y'all look a mess, so excuse me. Now, this cake can be for anything, y'all, seriously. Whether it be a wedding, baby shower, sweet 16, pretty much any design. I mean, it goes for anything that you can use it for. I got this what is it? Marble technique. Portia Cake Diva. She's amazing at the marbling technique. She does a great job at that. I think she teaches a class on marbling, but she does a great job at marbling. But all of these techniques are things that just from around, you can just pull everything together. So you got a mixture of buttercream and fondant, and you just, you know, putting it all together, add these additional touches that really just make it pop, you know, make it unique. You know, the fondant mold there, any mold will work. Just a simple brooch that you can get from Walmart. You know, this ribbon from Michael's, the bling, you know, all these items like this. This is stuff that you already have that you don't have to go out and spend a lot of money on. You probably will spend maybe $10 to $15 on just the embellishment stuff, and everything else, you know, you go buy your couple boxes of cake mix and make the cakes unless you bake it from scratch. A 3-tier cake should probably take you 4 boxes of cake mix. 6 and an 8 is 2 boxes, and a 10-inch is another additional 2 boxes. So that's 4 boxes of cake mix right there. Yeah, you should make a huge profit off a cake that you charge at least $450 to $500 for. Okay. How many? If this was a real cake, you would need a 6, 8, and a 10 round cake. I always use 2-inch deep pans, so you would have 2, 4, 6 total cakes, 6 layers, and then you would do 2, 2, and 2, 10-inch. Sometimes on my 10-inch cakes, I try to do 3 layers of cake just to give it that additional height. It just, you know, it gives the eye, takes it like, you know, different on the eye. And yeah, I don't do pricing classes. I just think they're pointless. And what else? What more? Any more questions? Okay. I mean, you did. I forgot. You guys, you really don't have to answer it. You know, if you don't have any questions right now, you know, you can always come back. The group is always here. But you guys are watching this, and one of you guys are the first to know one of the exciting new things that I'm about to get ready to launch. Drum roll, please. Yes, you should always put boards in between each layer. Always. Each cake should be on a board. Yes, yes. Drum roll, please, for the announcement. You guys ready for the announcement? So, y'all ready or not? Y'all ready? Okay. So, I'm always using a lot of styrofoam tiers, and I've noticed that over time that a lot of these companies have been getting over on people when it comes to styrofoam tiers. So, within the next 2 weeks, my new styrofoam line will officially launch. I actually have a company that's doing all of my styrofoam, all of my sets. That'll be doing just my sets exclusively. Nobody else but Cake King. So I'll have my own styrofoam sets that will be sold directly from my website. You'll have your 6 and 8, your 6, 8, and 10, 6, 8, 10, and 12, and 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14-inch tiers. So I am pretty hype about it because yeah, God just keep on opening these doors, and yeah, it's been amazing. This year has blown my mind beyond belief. But I'm constantly trying to find ways that our people can save money in this industry, and because we are being taken advantage of by so many people, whether it be through classes, whether it be through false information, whether it's pointless stuff on the internet, you know, just different things. And I think that it's important that as a community that we try to bridge that gap and getting people, you know, placing these tools in their life that they can use and they're not breaking the bank trying to have. So just remember, styrofoam cakes can take you so many places. Nobody has to know that this is a styrofoam cake. When I post these cakes on Instagram, nobody knows that they're not real. You know, and that's because there's nothing on there. I can say that they're vanilla layers. You guys remember the huge cake that was posted the other week? There it is. It's still here. I mean, I've already it went to the event, and they're using it at their event, and I'll just wash it off and do something else with it now. So, you never think that styrofoam is like just, oh, I don't want to do styrofoam, because people actually pay for it. I charge styrofoam just like I charge a real cake, because the work is just as intense on a styrofoam cake, if not more, than on a real cake. So, just always, I try to tell my students in classes when we're in our hands-on classes that if you're not getting a lot of orders, and there's cakes that you want to do them on styrofoam. Just do them on styrofoam. Who knows? Nobody knows that you're not busy but you. If you don't put it out there that you don't have any orders, nobody will ever know. You can create all of these gorgeous cakes and start over all the time, and nobody will ever know that it's not a real cake. So you can just keep posting them over and over again on all these different designs, and nobody will ever know. So take advantage of the styrofoam cakes, and not just on a level of learning, but just as a way to teach you patience and practice and skill to build build everything up so that you're ready for these orders. So when somebody comes to you and say, hey, I want a unicorn cake, you can say, oh yeah, I've done that. Let me go flip through my portfolio, and you pull it up on there. These cakes teach you how to stage your orders. They teach you how to stage your background. So many things you can use. You can buy styrofoam round balls. You can dip those in chocolate and start practicing on cake pops. Who knows that they're not real? Nobody but you. So take advantage of these little tips like this and things like this, because you never know how to hold them together. What do you mean hold them together? You can dial them down and stick everything down just like you do a real cake. Your phone cakes become. I'm getting out of it, but I don't want to waste cake. Exactly. That's why I've gotten to the point now with these classes like this. I try to tell everybody, you don't really have to. It's better to just watch the class first and then come back and work along with the replay, because you can actually see everything that's being done first. And I'm live to answer the questions that you have. But on the styrofoam, nobody knows if it's real or not. So when I get ready to post this in a minute, I'm going to tell them, you guys, you missed an awesome class, and we went through and we baked this cake and everything. They don't know that. Who knows? Nobody but y'all. And y'all were the first to get the news, because I haven't even released it to the public yet that I actually have yet another business. But no, it doesn't damage to the dialing part, so you'll be okay. But guys, I just leave you with this. Continue to educate yourself in your business. Don't just stop at these classes. Continue on to work and within your craft and do great things. This is a $1 million business, billion-dollar business. I am living proof that anything can be done. We are now in June, and I have hit well over $100,000 for the year already in just additional income, and I have a full-time job, so this is just extra money. So, and I love what I do, and the majority of the money was made sitting right here in my kitchen, teaching y'all how to be great, so that y'all can be thousandaires, as Brown say, and hundredaires. So I always tell people it's not to brag on anything, but it's just to show you that God can move in anybody's life, no matter who you are and what you do. God hates the sin, not the sinner. So do whatever you do, and always in everything you do, continue to give him praise in everything you do, and watch how he blesses you. I am definitely living proof. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the class. I see some of my New York people in here, Miss Lydia. I will see you guys next month in New York. Hello to all the replay people again. Thank you for taking the class. Because I forget that these classes go on and on and on and on for years down the line, because some of the classes that people are buying have been taped years ago, and they're just now. So y'all have a great evening. I really appreciate you guys, as always, for taking the time out to learn something from little old me. I never take you guys for granted. I always appreciate you for taking the time out to spend your money. Even the people who are gifted the class, I appreciate you guys. If I gifted it to you, I gifted it to you for a specific reason. Some of you, I think that you are growing and going in so many different directions, and these tips are additional and can help you. Okay. Yes, Yvette. In probably a week or two, you will be able to see that link and everything going up on my website. My question is, I noticed you had a slight change to the pattern of ruffles. I would like to know, how do you get the ruffles to be deeper? If you go back and watch it from the beginning, I showed all the different techniques on how you can get it larger. And there are different patterns on here. And it's all in the force that you're pushing out within the tip. Okay. So again, you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you guys. I love you as always. If you have any questions, continue to post in the group. It's you guys' group. It's your class for life. You can always watch it. As long as Facebook is in business, you can always watch these classes. If Facebook go out of business, then y'all gonna be shit out of luck. But y'all have a great evening, man.